Just had an awesome conversation with Buford about real estate and real estate strategy. So we went over two different strategies, the BRRR, BRRR strategy, as well as, look at my notes here, what refinancing is. And basically, at a very high level, the BRRR strategy is making improvements to your property and then realizing the capital gain when you bolster the property value, versus refinancing, where you make improvements to the home, increasing the value of the home, then taking a loan against the increased value, the new market value of the home. And what that allows you to do is get more cash because you are borrowing against the new value of the home and then using that cash to buy another property. But it's not so much that I'm going to be using this tomorrow, but it's just a good reminder of going out and meeting other people and getting to have these kind of conversations. You get out of your comfort zone and you learn what other people are doing and other strategies that people employ in order to progress and develop. So I just miss having these kind of conversations with people, and good reminder to get out and to do that. Well, we talked about, this is Buford.
Hi.
Buford's our engineer, the man in charge, the wizard behind everything.
Behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain of everything in Reforge. And this morning we talked a lot about, I think the first thing was like moving back into a big city, and if that's something that is in our futures and what we liked about big cities. But I thought that what you had said about when you talked about like one thing that you thought about was whether or not you should have stayed in London versus, looking at that time to move to Boston because you were having a kid. So if you want to like talk a little bit about that, because obviously it's something that is important to me as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's just like when you have your first kid, suddenly there's this emotional, I think for men at least, there's this emotional need to provide, you know. So for me, I was in London. I was kind of, doing this startup. It wasn't making a lot of money.
Which startup was this?
This was a Shortcut in London, through the Techstars one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I had the kid, and I kind of had this big need to make as much money as possible. So I moved back to San Francisco. To make sure that I was in the center of it, the epicenter of the tech. Started another startup on the side called CCC, and eventually just did it that way, right? But I think in retrospect, I would have been happier if I had just stayed in London. It was a great city. Is exactly what we both, the wife and I, look for these days. So just goes to show
But that's like moving. Emotions. That's like moving from one big city to another big city, albeit like a more international one versus one that's centered in like tech.
Well,
so what is it about?
We already knew that she didn't like San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
But she was happy in London.
Okay.
And now we're in Boston, and I'm not happy there, but she loves it there, right? So it's just like, we both were happy in London, and now it's like this dilemma,
What do you think? Not like a bad question is like, how do you think it would have played out in London? Because you don't really know, but what?
It would have been awesome.
What specifically about London worked for the both of you that in San Francisco and Boston is not working for one of you guys?
Yeah, so I think London has everything that I look for. So I look for what's good for the family. I look for tech, and like a very dense city, I look for kind of like this cultural, thing you get in cities, right? So like a European culture,
Sure.
I
Yeah,
enjoy that sort of thing, right? And she looks for that. So those two things minus tech, or those three things minus tech, plus like a family orientation, right?
Yeah.
So London is, you'd be surprised, but it's actually very like family oriented. You can go in from like Stratford to, City of London, 35 minutes on the red line, on the red, the tube. Stratford's like very family, very fun. We're living in this place called Mud Chute, and there's like kids in the park all the time.
That's cool.
It's just like great. But literally 10 minutes away is Canary Wharf. It's like their downtown, right? One of their downtowns, So I just had everything we needed, and we can't find that so much in Boston, right? Like it's just a different mindset, I think, of the people,
Yeah.
But
Cool. Okay, we got to run. Actually, do some work while we're here in San Francisco. Dude, I like doing this. Let's do.
Yeah, that's good.
That was actually really good.
We'll do another video. Same time tomorrow.
See ya.
Ciao. Good idea. I like that. These fading memories that I'll never get. Hey, how are you?
Sean, how are you?
Maybe we'll talk about some of the more recent examples of some companies who have gone through that, which I think are pretty interesting. Fortnite is a really interesting one.